and welcome to Emma's ESL English. A learner this week, who's from Korea, asked me about the article in this sentence. Too much drinking in too short a time. And he asked me, why can't we say too short time? Why do we need the in there? An excellent question to which I had no answer. So I've had to go and do some research. As you know, articles are quite important in English. We have and the, but it's rather unpredictable about when and where we use them or whether we use them at all. And unfortunately, when it comes to time, it seems like all of those rules are thrown out of the window. Yeah, so helpful English. Thank you so much. So it's common in English to use the word time as a noun in the way that my student had used it. But as I said, like so many things in English, the grammar around it isn't always predictable. Dang it! First of all, we can do a nice simple one just to get our feet wet. Have you got any time? In this case, the noun is time, and we're using any because we're not specifying a particular amount of time. Maybe we don't know how much time we want them to give us, and maybe we don't care how much time they can give us. Alternatively, we might say, have you got 5 minutes? So have you got any time? We don't know how much time. And it's very common for us to ask someone that question. However, time is tricky because sometimes it's countable, sometimes it's uncountable, sometimes it needs a definite article, sometimes it needs an indefinite article, and sometimes it needs no article at all. That's frustrating. And when I look at my trusty grammar book that, yet again, let me down this week, he basically just avoided the whole conversation about time. He clearly had looked at time and gone, it's too complicated. I'll not bother talking about it. Normally, we use definite articles to show whether we're talking about things that are known to the writer or speaker and the listener or reader, or that are not known, which is indefinite articles, to both of them. So logically, we can work that through, but unfortunately that doesn't seem to work in this situation. Annoying. What I've done is I've got 9 different sentences, and I put them into 3 kind of categories. And I'm hoping that by grouping them together, you can see a pattern, because the grammar rules are not awfully helpful in this situation, because the simple thing of does everybody know what we're talking about or not doesn't seem to predictably work when we're talking about time. Helpful. Okay, so my 3 categories. First of all, I have a kind of time, so we're describing time in some way. Secondly, I have the nature of time as a resource, so we're running out of it or we have lots of it. And thirdly, time for something. Quite often we're using a statement, and this might be used for quite a few idioms as well. Let's start with a kind of time. That's a long time. In too short a time, it's been a busy time. As you can see, when we're talking about this category of a kind of time, in each case, we have an adjective before time. The tricky thing is the article does move, but when you see all of the other statements that I have, there's no adjective about the time in those statements. So I think in terms of when do I use with time, look for an adjective. If there is no adjective, the chances are there's either a definite article, the, or no article at all. Now we're moving on to the time. Let me read my 3 sentences. I do that all the time. Oh dear, look at the time. where does the time go? So in each of these three cases, we're thinking of time as a resource, something we have, don't have enough of, or are running out of. In this case, it's not as simple as looking for an adjective or looking for some piece of language to figure out what goes next. But as you can see, in each case, the article is the, and the article comes directly before time. All the time, look at the time, where does the time go? And then the next one, the last one, it's time for something, often used for statements. So here we go. In time, you'll know more. The time is now. No time like the present. The last two are both very common idioms in English to mean go, do the thing, do it now. In time, you'll know more. So in that case, we've got a preposition before time. There is no article before time. The next one, the time is now. So it's a really short statement. The time is now. And the last one, no time like the present. Our article isn't to do with time at all. Our article is with the present. It's very confusing. I think we can effectively say that talking about time in English and using time as a noun in English is very, very confusing. Native speakers are not following particular rules when it comes to talking about time. We've created structures that work for us. I think the best thing to do is to say that these are some examples. They are commonly occurring examples in English that you might hear when people are talking about time. However, it's not an exhaustive list. So just like my student, if you come across something that uses time in a way that either doesn't fit into these three categories or is just really confusing for you, then feel free to email me that sentence and we will have a look at this again and see if we can make it a more clearer structure. Remember, you can email me your questions at emmaseSlenglish@gmail.com. Alternatively, you can head over to the website at emmaseSlenglish.com, where there is written notes in the blog for each episode. And you can also find all of the back episodes of the podcast there. If you're finding this podcast helpful, that's fantastic. Please share it with your friends. I am so glad that you're tuning in, and I look forward to talking to you next time. See you later. Bye.